Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Financially Free Journey podcast, and I am your host, Courtney Dyer. This podcast aims to dispel the seemingly complex topic of personal finance, money management, debt, savings, investing, and of course, retirement. And if you're listening to this podcast, then it's safe for me to assume that you want to take control of your finances and break free from the burden of debt and financial stress. Just hearing me say that may stress some of you out, and the thought of trying to achieve your big financial goals may seem out of reach at the moment. But remember, they are not out of reach. Your goals may be in the future, but by taking some actionable steps today, you can help yourself achieve your seemingly impossible financial goals. Now, remember, the only thing worse you can do is just doing nothing at all. This time of year, many people have it top of mind how they can improve in the new year, and they start reflecting on what they were able to achieve during the present year. If you look back at your accomplishments versus your goals and you feel utter disappointment, don't worry because you're not alone. Now is the time to take action and to change your current patterns and behaviors so you don't end up repeating the same results come the end of the new year. So today's episode is all about how you can take small, quick, easy, actionable steps that are going to make immediate impact on your finances. All of these steps are realistically achievable within the first month or two of the new year. So let's dive in. Step number 1, save $1,000 right away. One of the first steps to taking control of your personal finances is to have money set aside for emergencies. And a good starting amount is $1,000. Now, you may be surprised at how quickly you can save that money. Try strategies that include things like saving bonuses or tax returns. You can cut back on fun money for the month and you can put it towards that amount. You can sell some items online, or you could work as a temp for after holiday sales. The money should add up quickly, and then you have that emergency fund set aside and in place. Boom. Step number 1, goal number 1 achieved. Let's go on to step number 2. Create a monthly budget. Have you heard me tell you to create a monthly budget enough yet? Well, I hope that you're starting to let that sink in. As you can probably tell, if you've listened to more than one of my episodes, I am fiercely passionate about budgeting and the overall impact that it has on your finances. There is no way that you can change your behaviors if you have no idea what they are to begin with. A budget is a spending plan for the month. But if you can, identify areas where you need to focus, and by just creating a budget, it's going to help you bring an awareness to your finances that you did not have in the past. Okay, step number 3, catch up on late payments. Late payments can be extremely expensive and detrimental to your credit. Late fees can add up quickly, and it can be difficult to catch up and to get ahead when you've fallen behind. Make it a goal to catch up now, and you will be better off in the future. You can find extra money by working an extra job or selling some things online, as I had mentioned previously. You may also be able to contact the companies directly and see if they will set up a payment plan for you so you can get caught up over the next couple of months. This is going to make the process way more manageable and achievable for you. If you're making good faith payments, the companies are also less likely to report you to collections. So this is a really important step if this is applicable to you. The worst thing you can do when you're behind on payments is to avoid the payments or the debt collector when they call. Set up a payment plan and start making small payments, which is better than not paying towards the debt at all. Okay, step number 4, pay off one credit card or one medical bill. It can definitely be overwhelming to think about paying off all of your debt and may have you running for the hills, right? But making it a goal to pay off one debt, to start with your smallest outstanding balance and to tackle that first, the goal is achievable and you're setting yourself up for success. Look at the credit card or the medical bill that has either the smallest monthly payment or the lowest balance and choose that bill and go for it. You will be much more likely to achieve this goal if it doesn't feel super overwhelming and unrealistic for you. After you have paid this bill off, you now have the amount of money you use to pay towards that bill each month freed up to start stashing away into your emergency fund. See how these things connect? And it was just that easy. You immediately increased your financial health and made your money situation that much better. Okay, tip number 5, choose 3 bills and then cut their costs by a third. Take a look at your monthly bills again, and at this point you should be well aware of what those bills are and how much they're costing you. Now choose 3 bills and cut their total amount by a third. A great example of this is to look at your cable bill, cell phone bill, and your internet bill. These bills are all a part of an extremely competitive industry, and they are running promotions all the time in order to acquire new customers or to simply retain their existing customers. Now, start out by looking at better deals that you can get with competitors. Then call your current provider and tell them that you're thinking about switching to a competitor unless they can give you a better deal and match that deal that you found with the competitor. Now, these industries have entire departments dedicated to retaining customers, and they have special promotions available to offer you just for this situation. Okay, step number 6, meet with a financial planner. Now, I've mentioned this in previous episodes, and I mean it, guys. Meet with a financial expert. Set up a meeting with a professional. You will be glad that you consulted with a professional about your financial goals. A financial expert is going to ask you questions about your financial goals, and then they're going to help you determine a way to achieve those goals and make them actionable. Once you meet with a financial expert, you will feel so much better. You'll have a better understanding of what you need to do in order to achieve those big financial goals. And I want you to think about it this way. If your car is making a rattling sound and there's smoke coming out of the engine, do you continue to drive it around town, hoping it's not that serious and trying to ignore the sound and the smoke? Or do you take the car into a mechanic and have them diagnose the issue? Don't drive around your metaphorical, financial, smoking car and hope it's okay. Go see a professional and find out exactly what you need to do to put the smoke out. Okay, tip number 7, start saving for your retirement. Now, even if you can only afford $50 a month, start saving for your retirement. If you have the option to contribute to a 401k or a 403b through your employer, start contributing now. Even if you can only contribute 1% of your income. Again, something is better than nothing. If you don't have the option to contribute to an employer-sponsored retirement plan, look into opening up a self-directed IRA. There's so many different options, and again, make sure that you meet with a financial expert to get that specific advice for your, situation. But saving for your future is critical, and ignoring it isn't going to make it disappear. Call your human resources department and see what steps you need to take in order to start contributing immediately. Also, ask what your employer match rate is. That's free money that you're missing out on, guys. Okay, tip number 8. You heard me correctly. A spending fast is when you stop spending money except for bare essentials like groceries and gas for a dedicated amount of time. A spending fast can be extremely helpful if you're trying to break free from some bad spending habits. A fast can also help you figure out what those bad habits are if you're not aware already. You will quickly see what your spending habits are once you have restricted yourself from spending. Simply set a length of time that you want to go on your spending fast and then write down beforehand the items that are considered essentials. Once you're on the fast, if something comes up and it isn't on the list that you wrote out prior to starting the fast, do not spend the money. Many people choose February as a month to do a spending fast because it's a short month and mentally it seems easier to be able to follow through with. Okay, tip number 9, complete an insurance checkup. Now, it's always important to do an insurance checkup annually. The first part of this makes sure that you have adequate insurance coverage, but the second part of this is to make sure that you're not paying for insurance that you don't necessarily need. Make sure that you consult with an insurance rep and you make sure that you have adequate coverage for the essentials in your life. Don't be over or underinsured. Again, underinsurance can cost you a lot of money in case of an emergency, but overinsurance is just throwing money out of the drain. So make sure that your insurance actually lines up with your needs. Step number 10, stop using credit cards. One easy goal is to stop using credit cards completely. Now, a lot of people have bad spending habits because they have adopted a mindset of, I'll worry about it later. And they continue to rack up a bill that they can't necessarily pay off with the income that's coming in that month. Simply put it this way, guys. If you have a hard time controlling yourself with your credit cards, cut your credit cards up. If you want to keep them open because you want to make sure that you do have it in, a rare emergency, make sure that you put them in a place where it's not accessible. If you've ever seen the movie Shopaholic, you could always take your credit cards and freeze them in a block of ice. Do whatever you need to do that makes sense to make it where it's not such an easy temptation to give into. And, again, this was an episode all about helping you take actionable steps to make a difference in your financial situation pretty much immediately at the beginning of the year. And it's up to you to be able to follow through with these and to make that impact and that change that you want in your life. And that's it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure, if you're not already, that you're following us on Instagram. It's at Financially Free Journey. And then on Twitter, it's at FinanciallyJ. And I post up daily motivation and tips on how to help you achieve your financial dreams while you're on your financially free journey. Until next time.